This is the type of article right here that makes you not want to hire black people. I would not blame white people if they slow down in hiring black people. Because if you hire a so-called black person, you can almost guarantee somebody's going to try to sue you or expose you because you won't allow them to dress any way they want to dress or do what they want to do. They refuse to follow dress codes in the name of blackness. Now, I have a problem with this article right here. And you see the title, Black Police Officer Reprimanded for Having Braided Hair While on Duty. Now, this doesn't make sense. You're supposed to be uniform. When you applied for this position, you already knew the dress code and the rules because I'm sure they laid the rules down to you from the very beginning. It's like going into the military. You can't enlist in the military and expect to dress the way you want to dress because you're black. Oh, it's black culture, so I shouldn't have to cut my hair to go in the military. What does my hair have to do with me serving my country? I should be able to sag my uniform. What does my appearance have to do with serving my country? Well, because you have to be uniform. You have to follow the rules. If you don't want to follow the rules, then you should not apply for that position, or you should not enlist in the military. I am so sick and tired of black people using blackness as a crutch to rebel. You fight for rights, and then when you get rights, now you want to abuse rights and try to change the rules that you agreed to. And see, this makes you not want to hire black people. It makes you don't want to hire black folk because of going through nonsense like this. And I would not be surprised if many of these corporations or businesses start discriminating against black people because they don't want to go through this mess here. Now, I saw this article. Another YouTuber did a video on this article, and I just had to speak on this because I think it's the most stupidest thing. I remember before I went into the military, I had long hair. And there were times I braided my hair. My hair was so long that my braids came down to my shoulder and maybe a little bit beyond. I had long hair. It was long and it was wavy. Even when I braided it, I had to put rubber bands around the edges to keep it from coming apart just because of the texture of my hair. I used to get into so many senseless arguments with black females because they tell me that it's not my hair. They tell me that it's permed or processed or something. They just could not believe that a Hebrew could have hair like that, you know? And they would stop my sisters and ask my sister, you know, is that your brother's hair? This is how petty a lot of us folk can be. They would stop my sister and ask her, is that really his hair? Or I'd get, what are you? What are you mixed with? I used to get that all the time. And even my sons now get that. At one of my son's job, they call him foreign. They say he looked foreign, and these are black people. Black people have become the most racist people, man, on the face of this planet. Yes, you're more racist than the KKK. Look at what you're doing. It makes no sense to me. Now, I'm going to read a portion of this article, and I'm going to put a link on the bottom, and you can read it for yourself. Dakari Davis, an African-American police officer with the Dart Police Department in Dallas, Texas, says he is upset and confused after being told that his braided hairstyle is unprofessional by a lieutenant which ultimately led to him being reprimanded. Davis, who began serving in law enforcement in 2019, says that he could not believe it when one of his superiors judged his ability to do his job based on his appearance. He said a particular lieutenant felt that it was unprofessional for male police officers to wear cornrows, and contacted the police chief or the chief of police and eventually filed a formal complaint against my hairstyle, according to WFAA. Davis was, in fact, ordered not to wear the hairstyle while in full uniform in July 2019. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. They're not discriminating against the hairstyle. You can wear it all you want, but not while you're in uniform. I remember when I did work for Brinks. Even the white dudes, man, if you look at the cops, the white cops, you don't see white cops with their hair all down their back and rubber band and whatnot. I'm sure if they wanted to, they'd want to do that. I'm sure if it was permitted, better yet, I'm sure if it was permitted, they'd want to do that. Because you have a lot of white dudes that don't want to cut their hair. They got long beards. I was like surprised, like when I saw some of the dudes when I was in the military and I saw their civilian pictures and the beards they had and their hair, and to go into the military, they had to cut their hair off. Everybody got the same haircut. When you were in the service, when you enlisted and you sat down in that barber chair, they wasn't looking at the fact that you were black and you had cornrows. No, they took that razor and just zip, they buzz cut you. They took it off, man, and it wasn't discrimination. They did not discriminate. Everybody, black and white, came out looking the same amount of hair. So I think it's ridiculous for black people to always want to highlight themselves and make themselves above everybody else. I'm better than you are. I'm black. That's our culture. So we should be able to do this and we should be able to do that. You know, I think it's insane. And you're only digging your own grave, so to speak, because there's going to come a time when white folks don't want nothing to do with you. Already, if you move into certain neighborhoods, man, white people don't want you there. We hear of news articles where black males are being attacked all the time, and even black females. So a lot of y'all black women out there, don't gloat and talk about how black men are attacked and won't do nothing. You guys are being attacked as well. You wonder why you can't move into nice neighborhoods with white folk, because they don't want you to mess up their neighborhood. They automatically think because of what you show, you display, the image that you display in the media, they see that. And do you think they want you living next door to them? They think Black Lives Matter are going to be in front of their door. They're going to expect the police to be up and down the street or drug dealing, hanging out on corners. That's the image that many black people are given. So I think it's insane, man. So Davis was in fact ordered not to wear the hairstyle while in full uniform in July 2019. Documents reveal. But when he wore the hairstyle again, now keep in mind, after he was reprimanded and told not to do it, he wasn't written up. He was just told, you can't do that, man. Everybody's uniform. There's a dress code here. But when he wore the hairstyle again during a dark police officer award ceremony, the internal affairs investigation was conducted in November 2019. I actually decided to cut my hair out of fear of retaliation, he said. Or better yet, it says I said, but I'm sure it meant he said. You know what? I have a son. I need to provide for them. I'm just going to cut my hair, Davis said, as if he was under distress. All you had to do was quit your job. If you wanted to wear your hair braided, quit your job and work for a black business that don't mind you coming to work looking any way you want to look, or start your own business. And then for you black people out there that's always Oh, you did an internal investigation on his hairstyle, but you won't do an internal investigation when black people get shot down by police. That is the most stupidest argument. This is an internal investigation because this dude made a big stink about not wearing braids. I remember when I was growing up, the only people that really had problems with our braids was the older adults, because men just didn't wear braids coming up in their time. It was a different time. But if I was hired at a job, they tell you straight up at the door, there's a dress code. And a part of that dress code is how you wear your hair. Even if you look at women police officers, they have to wear their hair a certain way, have to have it tied up a certain way, even in the military. But even in the military, you have black females that had an issue because they didn't want to do what other white people were doing. Although they always compare themselves with white people. If they were white, if I was white, I'd be able to do this. If I was white, I'd be able to do that. Okay, now you have the same opportunity that white people have, and you want your own rules. You want to join the military, join the police force, get hired at one of these jobs that you applied for, and now you want to change the rules. You want to change their rules on how you want to dress. They tell you can't wear long hair, and that, hey, I'm discriminated against. It's insane. It's really insane, and you wonder why black people are not taken serious now. It says after the investigation, his braided or cornrow hairstyle was referred to as unprofessional and unapproved. A complaint against him listed 5 allegations, including insubordination for disobeying a direct order, not because of his hairstyle, but because of the fact of disobeying a direct order, just like in the military, from a superior, and violation of the police department's dress code policy. Davis was then placed on administrative leave, and he received a recommendation for termination and a letter of reprimand. Davis, who always dreamed, now here we go, to protect and serve, said he became depressed at that time. He eventually, now this dude is weak, man. Any dude that get depressed because you join the police force or the military and you have to now abide by the dress code, and now you can't handle it, so you get depressed, emotionally weak, and you wonder why black women don't have respect for you because of things like this. Now you want to do the same thing black women are doing. I'm being discriminated against because of my hair. He eventually reached out to Dallas County Commissioner John Wiley Price, who thankfully supported him. I wonder if he was black, or maybe he just wanted to get some brownie points. The letter of reprimand was rescinded in September 2020, and had a notice, was sent to the chief of police from DART's chief operating officer, Carol Wise, who was also put back to his full assignment as a motorcycle officer without restrictions. This is crazy. These businesses need to stop catering, man, to black people. They don't want the smoke. That's what it is. They don't want this whole cancel culture, Black Lives Matter, Antifa madness going on with them. But it's going to come a point, man, where they're not going to want to hire you because you want to come there and change their rules. Most recently, DART has been reviewing its appearance policy, stating that it is done as time change, that it is done as time change. People have different desires. We understand that you want to be able to work your job. Also, you want to be able to present a bit of yourself and to present yourself in a particular way, said Gordon Shadows, DART Director of Internal Relations. While Davis is relieved that there have been more discussion regarding the issue, He said it is also important to acknowledge the underlying bias about hairstyle in the workplace. Now, I wonder if white dudes now are going to start growing their hair out. I think white dudes should do that. I think white dudes should start growing their hair out and put it in a ponytail, growing their beard, and say, I should be able to do it because I'm a man. You discriminating against me because I'm a man and I should be able to wear my beard and my long ponytail. This is opening a can of worms. If you know me and I wear this uniform and stand right beside you and you view me in that manner, what does that say about you and how you view someone who doesn't wear this uniform? Davis asked. Now, I'm going to let you guys, well, that's the end of the article, but I'm going to put the link on the bottom. You guys can check this out for yourself, but I think this is dumb. I think this is so dumb, and I just think it's going a bit too far, man. Black people are doing too much. You know, instead of being appreciative, man, that you're able to go to work and support your family, man, if you don't start your own business. If you don't have the skills to start your own business, how are you going to go change the rules at somebody else's business? How are you going to change the rules? Black people already have a stereotypical image about them. The world, not just white people, the world think a certain way towards black people. Even the Africans and Egyptians that come here, that's the same color as you are, they have an opinion of so-called black Americans because of madness like this. If everybody else can follow the dress code, why you got to be special? Why you got to be the little yellow school bus person? And now they're trying to cater to your disability. That's what it is. You can't discriminate against anyone's disability, allegedly. So now black people have a disability that now they have to change their rules and cater to black people. Well, white people should be able to braid their hair. White dudes should be able to wear their long ponytails and their beards. So I think this is dumb. I think it's stupid. And it's only, and people talk about, black folk talk about ancestors, our ancestors this, our ancestors that. Man, listen, your ancestors are more than likely turned over in the grave, man. All them that died, man, for black people to have the rights that they have today, that they're destroying for madness like this, I bet our ancestors are turned over in their graves right now. I wonder if they were to walk the earth and just look at the condition of the so-called black people, how they would be. And what's interesting is you got black folk that's supposed to have some type of intellect agreeing with this madness. So he should be able to come and just change the rules because he's black, because he's special, because he's a slow kid on the bus. So feedback, tell me what you think. Until next time, I'm fearless.